Rattle those ivories.
All right.
That's it. Start somewhere.
Go inward, go inward.
You know, the Bible is full of instructions,
Yes.
most of which are very simple. It says in Psalm 27:14 to wait on the Lord. Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart. In Psalm 37:3 it says, trust in the Lord and do good. Psalm 37:7 says, rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Psalm 37:14 says, wait on the Lord and keep his way. And then Proverbs 20:22 says, wait in the Lord and he will save you. Wait. 1 Kings says, God is in a small, still voice. And Psalm 46 says, be still and know that I am God. Wait, be still. You know, when those words were written, it was a much simpler time. It was much easier probably to have some stillness and to wait than it is today. Today we're besieged with Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. Hundreds of TV channels with all sorts of programs. Good news, bad news, fake news, false news, pick it out. Talk shows which talk about every inane thing under the sun. If you do hear a small voice, it's hard to know whether it's residual from one of the talk shows or God himself. And nothing ever seems to get resolved. Every time there's a problem, there's a new committee formed with all sorts of opinions. The news is full of it. It's gotten to the point that a TV program now has even got Twittering and emailing people to get their attention. God friended me. Texting. It's kind of silly in a way, but it does make a point. And actually, it's not that far from history, because it says back in the book of Daniel that Belshazzar, the son of Nebuchadnezzar, was having a banquet using the utensils that they had taken from the temples in Jerusalem, when a hand appeared and wrote on the wall 4 words. You might say it's the early form of texting. But he wrote 4 words, and the words really meant that God has numbered your days. God has finished it. God has found you wanting. God has said that your kingdom will be divided. And shortly after that, Belshazzar was dead. Today, if that had happened, there'd be endless appeals to every court before anything was really resolved. Things are not simple anymore. It's hard to wait, and it's hard to be still. When Noah made his ark in Genesis, God gave him an instruction to go build an ark because he was going to end all life on earth. And Noah did this. There was no indication that anything other than his obedience to God was in play. It took him 50 to 100 years to do it, but he did it. A few days ago, Bill sent me something about what would happen if that occurred in 2018. So I thought there's a point in this, so I'm going to read it. In the year 2018, the Lord came unto Noah, who was now living in Nova Scotia, and said, once again the earth has become wicked and overpopulated, and I see the end of all flesh before me. Build another ark and save 2 of every living thing, along with a few good humans. He gave Noah the blueprint, saying, you have 6 months to build the ark. Now he gave him 6 months now, that's progress. It was 50 to 100 years back in Genesis. It's 6 months now. Build the ark before I start the unending rain for 40 days and 40 nights. 6 months later, the Lord looked down and saw Noah weeping in his yard, but no ark. Noah, he said, I'm about to start the rain. Where is the ark? Forgive me, Lord, begged Noah, but things have changed. Progress. I needed a building permit. I've been arguing with the inspector about the need for a sprinkler system. My neighbors claim that I violated the neighborhood zoning laws by building the ark in my yard and exceeding the height limitations. We had to go to the Development Appeal Board for a decision. The Nova Scotia Power demanded a bond be posted for the future costs of moving power lines and other overhead obstructions to clear the passage for the ark's move to the sea. I told them that the sea would be coming to us, but they would hear nothing of it. Getting the wood was another problem. There's a ban on cutting local trees in order to save the spotted owl. I tried to convince the environmentalists that I needed the wood to save the owls, but no go. When I started gathering the animals, an animal rights group sued me. They insisted that I was confining wild animals against their will. They argued the accommodation was too restrictive and it was cruel and inhuman to put so many animals in a confined space. Then the Department of the Environment ruled that I couldn't build the ark until they conducted an environmental impact study on your proposed flood. I'm still trying to resolve a complaint with the Human Rights Commission on how many minorities I'm supposed to hire from a building crew. The Department of Immigration are checking the visa status of most of the people who want to work. The trade unions say I can't use my sons. They insist I have to hire only union workers with ark building experience. To make matters worse, Revenue Canada seized all my assets, claiming I'm trying to leave the country illegally with endangered species. So forgive me, Lord, but it will take at least 10 years for me to finish the ark. Suddenly the skies cleared, the sun began to shine, and a rainbow stretched across the sky. Noah looked up in wonder and asked, you mean you're not going to destroy the world? No, said the Lord, the government beat me to it. We can laugh over that, but you know, there's some truth to this. Because we're beset with so many regulations and so many things and so many different avenues that no one has time to sit back and just wait and seek God. The tenets that he said in the Bible still stand. Wait in the Lord and be still and know that I am God. And the best life will be ahead for all of us. Just something to think about.